husband, a father of 2 daughters, and a small business attorney in state. Colm attended Boston College in Massachusetts, served as an aide in the U.S. Senate on the Joint Economic Committee in 2008. In 2015, Colm graduated from the Willamette University College of Law. Colm now represents individuals, nonprofits, and entrepreneurs in the Willamette Valley area. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome congressional candidate Colm Willis. Congressman Kurt Schrader is currently serving his 4th term in the United States House of Representatives. He represents us in Oregon's 5th Congressional District. Congressman Schrader attended Cornell University, where he received his BA in government. He received his veterinarian degree from the University of Illinois. And Congressman Schrader served in both the Oregon House of Representatives and the Oregon House Senate. Congressman Schrader currently serves as a member of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Congressman Kurt Schrader. At this time, you have 3 minutes to introduce yourself. We'll start with Colm.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here this morning. And thank you to the North Clackamas Chamber for hosting this event. My name is Colm Willis. I'm a small business lawyer from the state, and I'm running to represent you in Congress because, like many of you, I feel left behind by our leaders in Washington. My wife and I raised our daughters in a 100-year-old home in the state. My youngest daughter is 1 and my oldest daughter is 3. Over the last few years, I worked full-time while I was going to law school in order to support my family. My wife works as a nurse, so we've had to juggle childcare. And I own my own small business, and I've had to deal with the headaches involved in that process. I first got involved in politics in 2008 when I took a job in the Joint Economic Committee of the U.S. Senate. I was hired in May of that year, and I got a front row seat to the collapse that occurred that fall. But I left after about a year, because I was tired of watching leaders from both parties spend billions of our tax dollars bailing out the largest corporations with the most powerful lobbyists. But your average small business owner, your working taxpayer, didn't have a lobbyist, so they got nothing. I don't have any personal animosity for Kurt, but there are real differences between us. He voted for and supports Obamacare, which has caused your health insurance premiums to skyrocket, has imposed onerous regulations on your small businesses, and has destroyed jobs. I think we should replace it with a solution that puts you in charge of your health care, not the government. He supported the Iran deal, which provided the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world with over $100 billion. I think that was a mistake. I think we should try to reimpose sanctions on Iran and crack down on terrorists who attack Americans. And he supports the new trade deal, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I oppose it. I think it's going to destroy jobs here in Oregon. And I don't think it's fair that our small businesses are going to be forced to compete against foreign governments. I travel the district, and nearly everybody I talk to feels left behind. Everybody knows that 10 years ago, Kurt was a farmer and a veterinarian. But it's been over a decade since he farmed his own land or ran his own small business. And increasingly it shows in the way he votes. Ultimately, this election isn't about being a liberal or a conservative or even being a moderate. It's about being an Oregonian. And I'm not running for Congress to represent an ideology or interest group. I'm running to try to be a congressman that I wish I had. Somebody who puts you first. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's great to be back. Great to be back here. Very good, solid, active business group that we've had a great relationship with for many, many years. And frankly, as your United States Congressman, still a veterinarian, by the way, still keep my license because there's not a lot of job security actually in this particular gig here. So I maintain my license. Did sell the clinic, that is correct, but that was just 6 years ago. But having raised a family, been in business for over 30 years, having started 2 businesses, trying to sustain them in a tough environment in the United States, regulatory-wise, tax-wise, et cetera. It gives you a unique perspective. You know, having just come out of school, Colm will learn these things, I think, as he goes forward. But it's so important to have someone in Congress that has actually walked in your shoes and knows what it's really like to live with the consequences of your decisions. For me, it's all about a shared prosperity situation here. A lot of folks talk about Portland. Portland's doing well. But you know, the rest of Clackamas County, Marion County, a lot of CB5 not doing quite so well. That's why I worked hard to pass the Farm Bill in the United States Congress. It really puts not just American farmers, but Pacific Northwest farmers, our specialty crop guys, on the map in a much more competitive global situation. That's why trade is extremely important for our state in particular. Most every single business group wants to make sure that the Trans-Pacific Partnership is done. And it's done, frankly, the labor pieces, the environmental pieces of that are actually pretty amazing. They should be celebrating victory and not as worried as they appear to be at this point in time. I also believe in opportunities. I mean, gosh, it's tough to get into education. It should be more affordable. That's why I've sponsored bills again and again to make sure that kids can actually get an affordable education, renegotiate, refinance. We refinance our homes. Why can't kids refinance their own student loans, for goodness sakes? And in 2014, we stepped up and prevented interest rates from doubling. A nice bipartisan piece of work that frankly doesn't get a lot of mention these days, given the way the media approaches things. I'm big on career technical education. Not everyone's going to go to a four-year institution for an academic degree. There are a lot of great jobs. My foster son has a great job out at Intel as a pipe fitter. A lot of great opportunities out there for kids. And we rewrote the No Child Left Behind bill that a lot of folks were having a great deal of trouble with, that took the decision-making away from parents and away from teachers and gave it to Washington, D.C. We rewrote that to flip that around, make you responsible for your kids' education, give you the opportunity to set the table. And I believe in personal responsibility. I think everyone should have some skin in the game, whether it's your health care, whether it's your education. Nothing comes free. There's been a lot of discussion in some of the election circles about free stuff, and I don't think that's where America wants to go. Frankly, I've been effective for this district, and I'd like to be effective in the next 2 to 4 years again. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, do we have any questions? And please, I'm sure you might be inspired as soon as we get some of these started, but continue to think about any questions you'd like to kind of ask. Okay, so we'll flip a coin and I'll have Congressman Schrader answer this first. And you'll have 2 minutes for each answer. Assuming no change in majority party in the House, what do you feel you can accomplish in the near term?
I think there's a lot of opportunity. This last Congress, believe it or not, we accomplished a ton. As I said, we rewrote No Child Left Behind. We came up with a 5-year transportation bill. We helped seniors on Medicare get their Social Security disability checks that they were going to have trouble doing. We actually redid the Freedom Act so that we could have more opportunity for personal freedoms here in this country and not be subject to the federal government's overweening surveillance. We made it so that doctors could see seniors and afford to keep their doors open so that Medicare would actually work for seniors. We rewrote the toxics law. This is in a very partisan environment. We're still going to have a partisan environment next year, but I think stuff like comprehensive immigration reform, I think tax reform, some of these types of issues are very doable in a split Congress, and most of the time, this country's better off if there's a split leadership in the United States Congress.
Thank you. Colm.
Well, when I talk to people in the district, the most important issue that seems to be facing just about everybody is the health care law. I can't tell you the number of people that I've talked to in a number of different industries. Auto dealers, farmers, real estate folks, everybody is saying, this law is killing me. I can't tell you the number of people that I've talked to who have hired 2 or 3 accountants in a law firm just to try to comply with the law. Number of people who have 45, 46, 47 employees who aren't willing to hire up to 50 or above 50 because they know that they're going to get hammered with the regulations. So when you look at what's the most important thing that's going to really make a big impact for people here in the district, I think you have to start with that health care law. You had a situation where we had a functioning health insurance market that didn't work for everybody because some people had pre-existing conditions. Instead of just taking care of the people that it wasn't working for, they broke 1/6 of our economy. So I think we have to start fixing that, and I think we can. It doesn't just start with let's, repeal Obamacare. We actually have to have solutions. But I think it's gotten to a point now where people realize we have to change it.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not sure if that one is... Colm, is that right, Colm?
Like a column building.
Okay, Colm. Yes, sir. How would you encourage investment in improving our infrastructure, water, wastewater, roads, etc.?
Yeah. So this is a really important issue, and I think one of the things that gets overlooked in this is oftentimes we allocate money for transportation infrastructure, but it doesn't actually go to building roads. It goes to TriMet, it goes to bike lanes, it goes to a lot of things that don't actually make you get home with your family at the end of the night. So I think one of the things we have to start off with is making sure that the money we do allocate to transportation actually goes to building more lanes on 205 and 217, so you can be home with your families, not sitting in traffic.
Thank you. Well, been there, done that. We've heard loud and clear that infrastructure is absolutely a critical part of rebuilding America's economy, frankly, making us competitive with the rest of the world. That's why we actually did pass a 5-year long-term transportation bill just this last session. Only 1% of the money goes to bypass, by the way. But I think it should be multimodal. Milwaukee's booming because of some of the multimodal aspects of the transportation bill. But we also need more roads. That's why I personally lobbied and was able to get in I-205 as a highway of special significance and high priority to enable our community, our state, to lobby more effectively and hopefully more successfully for another lane. We also are in the midst right now of the worded discussion dealing with Water Resources Development Act to build water infrastructure. As Mark talks about, that's huge. A lot of small communities cannot afford the upgrades to these plants that are required. And just talking to Peter DeFazio 3 days ago now, it looks like that's going to be coming to the floor. It's already passed the Senate.
Thank you. Okay. Congressman Kurt, what can be done to move products through the Port of Portland?
Well, we've been the lead Democrat trying to reopen the Port of Portland. That's a tough issue. Right now, as you know, both the management group and the union group there have a monopoly. I think that's unfortunate. The whole West Coast is run by those two outfits, and it's basically cost us a ton of headaches. I work closely in a bipartisan way with Dave Reicher from Washington State, trying to get the president's attention to the huge dispute that basically shut down the port and for a while shut down the whole West Coast just a year ago. And we were successful. Again, another example of how your congressman has been successful for you. We got the president to come out within a month. That port, the West Coast stuff was done. We're still working on the ports here. I think it's going to take some more action. In the transportation bill we passed, Dave Raker and myself got some metrics put in there so that there's a little more objective measurement now of is there a slowdown in what's actually going at the port, and that will enable us, hopefully, to interact at a much earlier and more effective date.
Wonderful. Thank you. Colm, would you like to answer that one, or do you have any idea?
Well, I
open that for you.
I guess I would want to make the point, which is that I don't have any sense that Kurt hasn't worked hard or tried really hard. But I think fundamentally you have to look at what the results are. And he said he's been successful, but we still don't have a port where our guys can ship their goods out of our state. And it's the same thing with transportation. Kurt's been our congressman for 8 years. It's not as if our traffic just all of a sudden became bad in the last 6 months. And he was part of the majority in when he first joined Congress. I mean, if this was a priority, why is it now 8 years and we still don't have good roads? So I think it might just be that, the majority of people now in Congress are Republicans, and it's hard to get things done when you're in the minority party. I don't want to try to say that it's not working or whatever it is, but I think results really do matter in this business, and it's one thing to say you've done a lot of things, but you have to ask yourself, has it actually improved your life?
Great. And so I'll start with this question, Colm. It's likely we will have a Republican majority in the U.S. Congress. How will your party affiliation help or hurt in bringing resources home to Oregon?
Well, I think it does matter to be in the majority. The majority is the group that makes the rules. And if you're not in the majority, it's harder for you to get things done. But I would say when it comes, my first priority is to make sure that the government is only taking the resources from you that it actually needs to do the job the government's supposed to do. You know, every time that the government takes your money in taxes, and then they take a percentage of that to pay for the bureaucracy, and they send you back less money than you gave them in the first place. So the more money that I can keep here in your pocket, the better.
Thank you. Kurt?
Well, the main thing, the way to get things done in the United States Congress is to be bipartisan, to be open to everyone's ideas, not just to talk, but to listen. You can't be an extreme partisan and get stuff done, even if you're in the majority. The House Freedom Caucus is destroying the Republican Party. You know, the ideals that Colm and others like he talk about are not where Oregon or this country are. It's great to get elected in some of these tough right-wing districts, but it's not getting the job done. I've been effective since I've gotten there. The reason that Newport has the NOAA fleet is because of my intervention with my team. We saved the helicopters on the coast for all Oregonians to visit the coast. I'm in the minority. We got that actually done. Woodburn Interchange, got redone. I'm in the minority. We still got that done. We've got a tower at the Aurora Airport. I'm in the minority. We got that done. We have 205s, a special highway designation. I'm in the minority. We got that done. You need people like me that are willing to work across the aisle, show bipartisanship again and again and again, because that's how you get stuff done. That's how you get stuff done in your business. That's how you get stuff done in the United States Congress.
Thank you.
You know, Kurt said that I'm a right-wing extremist, and I just think that he's trying to distract you from what really matters here, right? He's trying to affiliate me with people that he says are destroying the Republican Party. I think you actually have to think about the fundamentals here. Has your income gone up over the last 8 years or gone down? Have we a higher percentage of Oregonians working today than were 8 years ago? Or are fewer Oregonians working today than 8 years ago? Has traffic gotten worse or better? Have healthcare costs gone up or down? I think that's the fundamentals that we need to look at when you talk about this election, not be distracted by these other things.
Colm's, if I may, Colm's claim to fame is he just got out of school and he's been in politics his whole life. He's currently been the director of the Oregon Right to Life, and he worked at a partisan committee in Washington, D.C. rather than come home. I came home.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Colm, wage inequity for women in the workforce is alive and well in the U.S. What do you think the federal government should do to assure non-discriminatory wages?
Yeah, it's really important. My wife works as a nurse at Salem Laser and Surgery, and yeah, it's really important. I have 2 daughters, and every single woman deserves to make the amount of money that she earns. Period. End of story. And if that's not happening, we need to make sure that we're cracking down on the people that are discriminating against women.